Good Sunday evening, everybody. Meteorologist Nick Kelly here. I promise you an update, and not only that, I'll give you an update on where we stand with storm chances for the rest of the evening, and a look at the forecast, since I spent quite a bit of time making sure that I looked everything over, and to give you a first heads up before we hop on the air at 9 and 10 on Fox 14 and KOAM respectively later this evening. Let's break down temperatures because they took an interesting turn compared to yesterday's highs in the upper 80s to near 90. We did drop back into the mid 60s during the morning hours, and before we could get close to 80 degrees this afternoon, or at least in the early morning hours, we saw temperatures take a dip and staying mainly in the 60s and even near 70 at the top of the 6 o'clock hour on this Sunday evening. The reason for that drastic change in temperatures, our storm system that came on in as advertised. We actually had a couple of isolated severe thunderstorms across parts of northeast Oklahoma late last night and very early this morning, but they fell apart before they could move away from Grand Lake. We were quiet to start the morning out. Then we had that parade of thunderstorms, strong to severe thunderstorms work on through the area. And like Doug and I have said, this was permanently expected to work in during the morning hours and maybe very early into the afternoon. That's how things planned out so far, make that panned out so far. With the storm system still nearby, though, we're still keeping an eye on a few storm chances this evening, at least to start things out. As far as what the storms did, the storms that came on through already, not a lot of reports on the Kansas side. We did see some hail sizes observed ranging between penny and quarter size. So you're talking about 3/4 of an inch to about an inch in diameter, especially in parts of Greenwood County, including around Eureka, and some hail reports, no hail reports around Fredonia, primarily about an inch in diameter. Then we get into southwestern Missouri because the storm that fired up north of Joplin dove to the southeast and left behind at least some hail almost to the size of quarters around the Neosho. We had quarter-size hail in Monette and 3/4 of an inch of diameter in hail, or just under that, around Purdy and Berry County. We can also see from 11:25 this morning, Aurora in Lawrence County picked up quarter-size hail, but the wind reports have picked up as well. In fact, we had a 61-mile-per-hour wind gust from one of the mesonet sites at Red Oak in Lawrence County. Not to mention, we saw large tree branches down, at least that report of large tree branches that were down on 96 between Avila and Miller at about 10:55. That was also around Red Oak. Then we saw a power line go down around the city of Aurora back at 11:28. Then the wind speeds really picked up once the storms plowed into Table Rock Lake. We had a 50-mile-per-hour gust around Shell Knob at 12:10. We had, let's see what else we can find here. We actually picked up heavy wind on the James River arm of the Table Rock Lake near Shell Knob and Golden, Missouri. That's in the extreme southeastern Berry County. We had some trees down. That was a result of that. 12:45, a wind gauge out of the Branson automated weather observing system picked up 52-mile-per-hour wind gusts at 12:45. But this is the big one, though. 60 to 70 miles per hour around Kirbyville. In fact, we had numerous trees reported down from Kirbyville to Kissy Mills. In fact, they had actually several roads and highways, including O Highway, blocked by downed trees. Power lines were reported down, including some minor side damage, and that included also a tree that had fallen on a home in Kirbyville. So hopefully everybody that you knew that was out in Stone County, Taney County, and these other areas around Table Rock Lake got the heads up, and hopefully we're safe as the storms passed on through. As for where we stand right now, though, a lot better than how we started the morning out. We're not seeing much in our area on the radar network. That being said, I am keeping an eye on some developing showers and storms trying to get going across parts of Tulsa County from the Turnpike and 44 South, and including another storm that's been trying to get going, let's see here, over the past, actually not very long, over the past 45 minutes to an hour, but you can see how that's working toward the southeast. But this is still ahead of the passing cold front. As long as that's still around, we will be keeping an eye on that throughout the course of the early evening hours. Then once it's far enough south, we're done with the storm system and any rain chances. As far as temperatures this morning, we had lower to middle 60s across the entire area. Then some of us pushed into the mid to upper 70s to near 80 degrees before we hit the top of the noon hour and before any storms or outflow winds from the storms had an impact on temperatures. And you can see right behind it, it was a struggle to get out of the 60s once the storms passed on through. But temperatures, they're not so bad at the start of this evening. At 6:14, we still have some mid to upper 70s in northeast Oklahoma. Everybody else ranging from the mid 60s to lower 70s. No matter how the temperatures look where you are, they are a fair deal better than the upper 80s to near 90 that we had yesterday, especially for our highs. For this evening, though, I want to keep an eye on some minor thunderstorm chances up until about 9 or 10 o'clock. Then the rest of the night will focus on clearing skies, and then a chilly night ahead of us this time around, with lows dipping back mainly into the mid-50s. Let's break down your surface map setup here because quite a bit has changed. You can see how the bulk of the severe threat has mainly shifted to the south of us now. That's because outflow from the storms that went over Table Rock Lake has forced the action from areas from Grand Lake to about Tulsa south. But still, as our main cold front is passing through, that could still try to spark some more isolated storms, mainly in northeastern parts of Oklahoma. So that's something we'll still watch for the next few hours. Then we're looking okay with the main upper level wave passing off to the east of us. In fact, let me pause this for a moment. I want to back up to the surface map here because even though this is looking a lot better, in fact, let me find a pointer tool for you here, because even though this cold front and the trailing stationary front is going to be south of the region tomorrow, this coming cold front out to the west is actually going to force the backside of the system back our ways, and that with another approaching upper level wave and additional energy out west. That's going to come in by Tuesday and bring thunderstorms back into the forecast. But before we deal with that chance for storms, we're going to be getting a chance to dry out and just take a breather from it all once we get into late tonight and throughout the entire day tomorrow. In the short term, though, again, we'll still keep an eye on the radar because as long as that front is still around and passing through, I want to keep an eye out for some isolated to widely scattered storms that could be strong, maybe, possibly low-grade severe with 60 and quarters, but the better severe threat now is mainly shifting to the south of the region, mainly east-central Oklahoma and the west-central parts of Arkansas. But this is something we'll still watch until we hit about 10 or 11 o'clock. Then the rest of the night, we're looking good. In fact, we'll be clearing the skies out through the course of the night, allowing temperatures with a northeast breeze behind the front to drop us to 56 degrees first thing in the morning. And the entire day is looking really good. We keep that northeast breeze light throughout the day at 5 to 10, and with mostly sunny skies, that will allow temperatures to go to 71 by noon and pushing afternoon highs, at least in Joplin, around 76. In fact, I think everybody's fair game to see highs mainly in the mid-70s. Most spots around 76. You could twist my arm and say maybe a few spots around 77 or 78 before tomorrow afternoon is all said and done. While this is going to be a nice break in the action, we'll watch for maybe some thunderstorms trying to sneak in for parts of the area of Tuesday morning. But as the next frontal system and upper level wave pass on by, we'll watch for thunderstorm chances to return. Some could be strong Tuesday afternoon late and going into Tuesday night. Then maybe very weak waves along the passing jet Wednesday and Thursday could give us a stray thunderstorm, but mainly we're looking dry Wednesday and Thursday. But it's going to be warm with highs in the mid-80s at the very least under partly sunny skies. Then the next big system in Doug's pattern that I want to watch along with Doug and Michael comes in on Friday. With the way things are looking, we'll watch for Friday afternoon, late Friday afternoon, Friday evening, Friday night, potentially in the very early Saturday morning. The future track continues to look like this potential setup by the time we hit next weekend. We're going to have to deal with strong and possibly severe thunderstorms. Far too early to say exactly how that will unfold, but this next big system we're watching. Then we're going to dry things out by Saturday afternoon and certainly going into Sunday before we see another system by early next week try to come our way. So your extended forecast looking good for tomorrow. 76 with mostly sunny skies after a chilly start in the mid-50s. Let's drop to 59 Tuesday morning, and despite our next storm system on the way and quite a bit of cloud cover coming in too, I still think we can get highs around 80. I want to watch for some storm chances Tuesday morning by the start of the morning drive, but I think the better shot for storms looks to be Tuesday afternoon into Tuesday night. Maybe a stray storm Wednesday or Thursday, but those days are mainly dry with temperatures in the mid-80s. Then Friday afternoon, Friday evening, Friday night, into early Saturday morning, we'll watch for the next stronger storm system on the way in. Again, that could be a possible severe threat, certainly for Friday. But as that system passes on by, indications show us taking temperatures from highs around 85 on Friday into the upper 60s on Saturday, possibly 48 Sunday morning, before a partly sunny afternoon on Sunday makes us top out around 71 degrees. That's the latest update I have, everybody. Hopefully you got a good look at that forecast. And remember, like, subscribe, ring the bell, and if I see any changes to this forecast, I will update that and bring it to you all tonight at 9 at Fox 14, at 10 on KOAM, and later on tonight with the blog that you can find anytime at KOAMnewsnow.com.